Antono Mpulira Mike Mwana Shivana representing Faruga.
Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. It's 2024 and we are here again like we never left. We are BaQueer. We shall be in your faces because we are BaQueer Twogere.
She said what she said.
Yes. It's the new year. And we're here. Chitone.
The month is coming to an end and today is 20 something. And it's been a long month, right? Like the way I'm waiting for my salary, guys. My salary is not coming. It has been so long. But also as I'm waiting for my salary, I'm thinking about my plans for the year. Like, because I don't know if other people were able to, and if you are not able to, it's not too late. But I set my plans for the year. There are so many, like I could spend an entire day talking about them. And I think I have two key things that I'm going to live by. Like, I have two mantras for 2024. The first one is I want to attract. Like, not chasing. Not chasing anything. Like, not relationships. Not even money.
Yeah.
I want to attract. And I feel like for me to be intentional about attracting, there are things I need to do about myself. And based on the kind of person I am and the kind of work I'm doing, I feel like I need to build my charisma more. Like, I need to be able to make people like me more so that they can give me things. Because, people give things to people that they like, right? And I'm not talking about the liking that you people are thinking. I'm talking about the liking where people are devoted to you. They like your cause. They like how you live. They like the things you do. So it's easy for them to give you stuff, right? And for those that don't know charisma, let me read the dictionary meaning. Charisma is the compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. And it works in all areas of our lives. Like, it can work in a relationship by making your partner devoted to you. It can work in church. People who are expecting to start businesses, churches as business. You build that charisma so that, like, your followers are devoted to you. Even as a person that is working in office, it's easy for you to make people that report to you devoted to you or to your cause. And some of the things that I have seen work that I feel I want to build on or make better, one is about how you meet people. What impression? Because like they say, first impression is a lasting impression. So what kind of first impression do you give someone for them to feel that there's something more to you? So eye contact is very important, guys. Like, look people in the, not like in the seducing way that you do, but look people in the eye when you talk to them. Compliment them. Like, everyone loves being flattered. Even the president of this country would feel good if you complimented them. Yeah. Not in the seductive way, like sometimes people abuse it, but compliment someone about, because people put effort in how they look.
You look so pretty, Tony.
Oh, thank you, but not that complimenting. Like, so you can compliment, like, let me say, like, a shirt, a watch, like, it depends on, like, pay attention to people, find things about them that you can compliment. Another thing is about making sure that when you interact with people, you make them feel heard. Because, like, no one is going to care or remember you if the entire time they were interacting with you, they felt like there was a wall. So how do you make people feel heard? Ask questions. Be like really pay attention so that you're able to understand and ask. But also don't even only listen with the intent of asking, or some of you are only listening to the intent of asking. You need to understand and ask questions to show the person that whatever they're talking to you about, like, you're getting, you're in the vibe, you're in the mix, yes. Also, you should seem interested, like really interested. So interested also comes to do with your body language, supplementing on things they say, asking questions that are intentional, and then like following up. Like, for people like me who are in like activism work, it's usually very good for you to follow up after you meet someone. So be it a funder, be it a fellow activist, because like, for instance, if you're going for like a reception or you are at Ikasa or somewhere, this person is going to meet so many people. So they may enjoy your interaction but forget. So it's good to usually follow up, and follow up is very important if you do it immediately. So if you met someone today, when you go back to your house that night, follow up with an email. I think, thank you, it was good for me to, like, it was nice to meet you, or follow up on something they promised, so that then you establish that conversation. Even in hitting on people, like, if you like someone, follow up later. Call them and ask, did you get home safe? Like, you are complaining about this food, is your stomach okay? But some of you are terrible people.
Also follow through, yeah?
And then the last one would be around being someone that is remembered.
Legacy.
Yeah, legacy. And also remembering comes with names. Like, I really, really suck at names, but people really feel good when you address them with their names. It's okay for you to also forget. So often when you forget, it's okay to also just ask someone like, oh my God, I forgot your name. What's your name again? Because people like always feel good if they feel like you've given them the value and the importance. Yes. Also recalling something that they discussed. So that, like, for instance, when you're following up, you're keeping the conversation going. Eh? Not remembering anything, like they were talking to some statue. And then the other thing I'm being intentional about is being productive. I watch TikTok a lot, and there's this particular what they call them, influencers, but this creator that talked about productivity, and they're talking about what they call the 3-3-3 plan. So like 3-3 plan, right? And that plan involves like, how do you make your demo productive? So in the 3-3, the first 3 is about 3 hours of your most important project. Like every single day when you wake up, be intentional about what the thing is that you want to do, and spend 3 hours in one sitting intentionally focusing on that. Because sometimes you're not productive because we are up and down. So you need to like center your mind, and also like, if you think that you're going to come into office at 8 and just sit and work up to 5, sometimes you're not going to be able to achieve anything because you are not intentional about assigning your time. So you can decide and be like, because you know yourself, when am I more productive? Am I more productive in the morning or in the afternoon? If it's in the morning, afternoon, dedicate 3 hours in the window that you're productive, and sit down and complete whatever task that you want to do. The other was around 3 shorter tasks. So let me say, I'm giving my example of my work. So if I have like a proposal to write, I can dedicate 3 hours that day to writing my proposal, so I can work, because I'm more productive in the morning. So let me say I'll walk into office, and then let me say from 9 to midday I'm going to focus on my proposal. And then I'll also do some 3 shorter tasks later on. So I'll say like, maybe I will answer my emails. I will chat with my other colleagues about like where they are. So I'll be bringing down some people that I work here as next. And maybe I'll follow up on another conversation. So basically, at the end of the day, you've achieved like 4 things in a span of a day, instead of thinking you're going to sit on your desk and write a proposal all day. And then the other is around 3 maintenance activities. So as you're working, what are those 3 things that you're doing to take care of yourself as you're working? And this is different for everyone, so you can tailor it to fit exactly. So this is where your self-care comes in. So your maintenance activities could look like, after 3 years, I'm going to step up my desk and go and look a bit at nature, or I'm going to step up and drink some water, or I'm going to step away and stretch, or I'm going to step away and go to the toilet. Toilet is also self-care, guys, by the way. Like for me, toilet is one of my best moments. So toilet is self-care. So you can go to the toilet just to take a break, because some people tend to be overstimulated with human interaction. So it's that one place where you can go. Yes. So you can say after maybe 3 hours, I'll go and be in the toilet for a while. But as you're in the toilet, know that other people also want to use. Some of you stay in the toilet long. And by some of you, I mean me.
Hygiene is important of the toilet.
But hygiene is also like not a responsibility of anybody. You can clean it. If you find it not clean enough, you can clean it and then use it. So we need to also unlearn those things, that you guys, you're cleaning toilets at your houses. Why are you not cleaning toilets at your office?
No, it's not about not cleaning it, but I mean, if it's not like in my space, my personal space, like it's an open space or a public space, it would be very difficult for me to be able to take a break.
You can just go and pee and come back.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing for myself. And I know I'm surrounded by people who also have other plans. And there's this person who's just next to me, Miss Perfectionist. Gazelle. I'm wondering, how are you going to deal with perfection this year?
The voice behind this is Gazelle, your female lover. But before you continue, Chitone, you talked about having those short tasks. Are they supposed to be still in line with your major task for the day, or it can be other tasks outside your major tasks? Like maybe if you're having a proposal, and then instead of maybe sending the shorter tasks B, maybe answering emails, could it be, is it supposed to be something else outside the work related, or it should be still in the line of, work, those short tasks? because I may want, after this proposal, I may want these short tasks maybe to be like now me, probably who plays around with my hands, I can have an earring fixed, like if I'm already having it as a task before, so I can put the proposal on a break and then I have this task just to finish up. Or it's supposed to be just centered around.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask you about, like, if you're planning, do you do like a resolution thing before? Like, do you be like, this is the New Year's resolution? Because I don't know how to do resolution things. Yes.
So first, the question about tasks is about what you decided to do on your day. Because for me, like my short tasks, some of them include emails, but also it could look like I love applying for like fellowships, scholarships, so I can take time off my proposal to be able to do the other things that I want to do. Yeah, so that depends on how you plan your day. And then around New Year's resolution, different people do different things, but one of the, for me, if I'm to share how I do it, is every year I will sit down and audit myself. Like, what are the things that I was able to achieve this year? And what are the things that I want to do better next year? And then focusing on the things I want to do next year, what are the steps I'm going to take individually to make sure that I get to those things? Yes. So some like I said, I would make a whole day, but for me now my priority is those two things. I want to be more productive because I've dealt with a lot of burnout towards the end of the year, and also want to build charisma because I feel like I'm really growing as a leader, and there's a kind of leadership I want to inspire which I don't see yet. So I have to become this person for me to be able to inspire the leadership I want. That's why I want to build charisma.
That's more of being a perfectionist, should I say?
Yes, okay, I'll be a god.
So a disclaimer, yes, I'm not really a perfectionist, but I think from observation.
You should see how we rolled our eyes when you say
Yes, I think that's going to be it's one of my to-do list this year, I think, dealing with perfectionism, because I think all of us have different ways. I've been to two friends' places, and hey, you can't eat and drop rice. You have to clean it. So is that being perfect?
Yes,
being a
and I know
perfectionist?
somebody here.
Okay, so we all deal with perfectionism in different ways, and I think perfectionism is more like avoiding, mistakes, avoiding being misjudged. So I think that's how I've always been, being misjudged and said a lot to, or taken in a certain way. But for this year, talking about plans for this year, I think that's what I'm really going to be deliberate about. And doing so is I'm going to actually, first of all, accepting, like, okay, being a perfect person in what terms or in what fields that you may find yourself in. But then also I'm going to allow myself to make mistakes. I shouldn't, I should not be, okay, mistakes are mistakes, yeah. But then if I've made a mistake, it is okay. It's okay, but then I'm not going to utilize this mistake to say that I'm going to learn it take an opportunity from this mistake and say that I'm going to learn from. Do we learn from our mistakes? That's something else that because I once say that I'll learn from my mistakes, and someone said that deliberately, that you shouldn't use that sentence, learning from your mistakes. So accepting your mistake, accepting my mistake, but then also I need to set realistic goals, things to achieve. They have to be real. I'm not going to say I need a car yet. I'm not even saving.
Yes. You can steal it.
Yeah. So my goals have to be really deliberate and realistic, that I can attain in my own means. And then also I have to also allow to express my emotions, understand my emotions, because there are times when you have to beat a deadline, and then it has come, it's overdue, and then you're just full of anxieties, and you acknowledge that, but then you cannot give yourself that room to maybe calm down and just fight that and continue. But then also another thing that I'm going to be deliberate about is, I think, going to accept that I'm not born a perfect person, you know. I just become it. So who I am, how I do things shouldn't be to other people's expectations, but my own expectations, which are possible, not impossible. And talking about yes, as a new thing, learning to beat and deal with perfectionism. I would love to learn more or get to know what more things can I learn. You know, how do I get to learn these new things, these new ventures? So I would love really Subi to share with us on that.
Yes, before Sobi, I want to ask something. I want to ask Tishone also, and then Gazelle. There's when I am scared when it comes to perfectionism. Yes, I have these things in my head, right? Like I wrote everything well, and I'm like good to go. Yes, and then they ask me for this report. I have to first go through it like 10 times again. Like I always feel like I'm not doing anything right. Like never at all. And then sometimes maybe my supposed to be like, trust yourself. Like, and then I don't want them to feel like I'm asking someone else. So like I'm always working on, is it good enough? Is it good enough? How do I normalize failing or knowing that I might not perfectionally do this? Like I won't do this perfectly. Without fearing, I fear so much to fail.
Actually, me what from last year, actually what I did was just put it there. If there are corrections, if there's anything, they will always reach out. Just give what you've given is that. Just give it there and leave. Just.
I think I would be like, you have to do it. I'd be scared to like
Maybe
be in
just
trouble.
to supplement for a Gazelle is usually what you need to do is when you're given a task or when you're doing something, give it the best that you can. Once you've given it the best, be comfortable that you've done the best that you can and let it be. So when you've done your report and then you need to send it, well knowing you've done your best, put it there. Because whatever comes out this is the best I could. So if this person who probably, let me say like your supervisor, feels like what you've given is not the best based on what they want, then they'll be able to guide you. Yes, because you would have done your best. So once you know you've done your best, like be comfortable. Yeah, you're like, yeah, this is all I could do.
See what I say, then I go offline.
Now I
send and go offline immediately.
You're not alone.
But then if there's any comment, I'll see it later.
I think your fear is in the feedback.
But then
You have to be ready for the feedback, whatever comes, and from that feedback you will learn. Now that fear is holding you back from actually learning and projecting yourself in a better way. So be prepared for that feedback. Accept that feedback. When they give you the task, do it. If you're not confident with the entire group, maybe it's a whole group of people that is supposed to receive it, first share it with one person. Let them know, tell them, please guide. Is there anything I've missed? Is there anything I can change? Is there anything I did not get properly? Maybe then, when they give you that feedback, and then you can perfect and then share it in the larger crowd. Sorry, this is Suvi here. So I believe you have to be ready for the feedback because it's from that feedback that you learn. And when you learn, the next time they give you something of the you will know what to do. So be ready for the feedback. Don't fear. What's the worst that can happen to you really?
They always tell me, it's okay now, kukuba.
You're not going to kill you.
I mean.
Yes. But I can also say something that I think that comes, the producer here. I think I had your problem. And when I realized it, to be perfect is more like you just put emotions into things. Because you want to be perfect, you feel like I should do this so that this person should love me. I should do this so that they appreciate me. But as we said, it's something you have to just give out there and let everyone judge you. And for the best of the people, they will tell you that, yeah, this was good, but I think if you corrected this, it's a way of learning. Yeah, and it's a journey. You have to accept that it's a journey. It's not something that you'll just wake up and say, now I've learned. Trust me, it will be 1,000 times. Gloria today will shout at you and you'll be like, Huh? But you said I give you an but you shouted at me.
Also, you should learn to not be comfortable with disrespect, and this goes all ways. So even if someone is your supervisor and you feel like you've done your best, and they trash it in ways that make you feel bad, stand up to yourself. You're like, I really did not like how you did this. I really did not. Like, people are never going to kill you, by the way. Like, they are never. Also, people don't fire people for standing up for themselves. Also, that you should know. So you'll be like, I really didn't like how did. I feel like I gave it my best, and because we are human beings, like, we thrive on emotion.
Yes.
So it will be easy for also the person to understand that, oh God, maybe I broke this person's spirit, and this is how I need to interact with them going forward. Yeah.
Gazelle talked about perfectionist, and I'm here trying to communicate my perfection feelings. How do I get to communicating effectively? As a person who works within communication, it's very important for me to know exactly what I'm going to say. What am I saying? And if I'm saying this thing, the person I'm saying it to, are they going to receive the information like I sent it? So I think from my side, how I can communicate powerfully is I should be clear and concise. I should also clarify on the information if it's needed. And then also try to use simple language. You're not going to send an email and then put this whole slang to maybe your boss. They won't understand the email. Also, be curious when you're communicating. Listen very carefully. Don't just hear, but listen and then ask questions. So, and then also not to miss out that something is always understand the person that is communicating. Because if you're not understanding, ask questions so you know what the communication is about. And then also it is very important to always demand to know more. Just you can say, I didn't understand if you didn't demand more. You didn't demand for more information. So be precise, clarify on what you want to say, use simple language, and just communicate your things. Yes. Because everything is a learning process. I want to learn so much. I want to learn how to make money. I want to learn how to socialize. I want to because learning doesn't stop. So, what do you think?
How do you get to the point of learning new stuff? It's basically, first of all, I think it's your will as a person. You have to be willing, first of all, to learn, or to unlearn, learn, and relearn all the time. The world is evolving on a daily. Like every other time, something new is being invented. It is sheer will. And there's no one that will push you apart from yourself. Yeah? Like, you have to push yourself to be able to do that. And there's a lot of places to learn from. Yeah? Just even daily observation. There's the internet. The internet is full of knowledge that you can tap from, a lot of knowledge. There's so much now, even if it's not the internet, just it's on its own. There's social media. If you go to, leave alone these clips that are making fun of, different people on TikTok, but there's a lot of other learning stuff there that, you may not go to class and sit, but there are places you can learn from, and there are so many. The world is open. It's not like those days where you had to go to a class and sit and, so you can learn from the internet. There's a lot of information. There's ebooks, there's the social media, different places really. So you just have to cultivate that will as a person for you to be able to accept that I need to learn something, I need to know. Then of course you have to be a very curious person to be able to learn. If you're not a curious person, you're going to be left behind. Some of us hear about certain things and you're like, it doesn't matter. But you have to learn. You have to be a very, very curious person for you to be able to learn so many things. Otherwise, there are things that will just pass by you and you will not know. There are skills that you need that you will not know that you need until you get to a point where you're thinking, hey, I might actually use this. But the opportunity to learn was there and you did not take it. But if there's an opportunity that you can find in any place, anywhere, whether online, whether physical, whether these little meetings that we have, whether it is from podcasts like this one, please take up the time to learn. So you have to be a very, very, very curious person. And then you have to be able to be a good listener. As a person that wants to learn, you have to be very good at listening and then observing. So there are people that will not learn from the blackboard. You will go and put everything out there on the blackboard and they will not get anything. And then they will just come and sit somewhere and watch.
Observe.
I want to give you an example of kids. Have you watched kids? The kid will be there watching you, whatever you do. You've not taken them to class. Then the next thing you find someone is driving, has gotten the keys. I have a niece. She's been very observant. So so every time she finds the charger, she will get it and she's looking for a socket. She doesn't know where to fix it yet. She's 1 year and 1 month now. She does not know how to fix it, but she knows this charger goes into a socket somewhere. So you have to be very, very, if you cannot learn from sitting in class and everything, you have to be able to observe. And for me, kids teach me a lot of that. They observe. Even you find someone, maybe the child was doing like this, or there's a place we went to. We had gone to a church sometime to visit. So while there, my brother, I think, was about 3 years old. He sat quietly, very quietly the entire time. He didn't do anything. He didn't do much. So when we left, we got home and he started demonstrating everything these people were doing. And yet it looked like he was not there. He wasn't paying it. But he was sitting and watching and paying attention. And then he started mimicking everything these people had been doing. And we were all in shock. This is a boy, he's like 3 years old. He started kneeling. He put his hands up and started praying, calling Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And we were all in shock. We were like, hey, all along you were. So
Observing.
that's that observation that, you have to be able to be very, very observant in a lot of things that can help you learn something. And then also you have to ask questions.
Yes.
That I think takes me back to curiosity still. You have to ask questions. If there's something you're not understanding and you're not getting, but there's someone that can actually guide you. Or there's someone that that has the information. Or you can just, even the internet, you can ask questions. Go to Google, ask questions. This and this and this and this. Why? What do I do? So when you ask questions, you learn. Rather than sitting back and you're like, So that helps you with your learning and with your daily life. And then you also have to be very flexible. In this life, there's you can be there. Now, for example, long ago, seeing a woman drive a car, men would be challenged. Like, how? First of all, how can she drive? How can she own a car? Yet me, a man, I don't. How is she able to drive it? And then there's a point I got perplexed. Someone came and pipped because I was driving like a van. It's like, hey, it's automatic. If it was manual, I would have.
Yeah, lol.
And in my head, I'm thinking, I can actually drive a manual, but. So there's that being set in your ways. Me, I cannot be this way. Or women cannot be this way. Or men cannot do this. Or no, you have to be able to be a little bit flexible, especially if something fits your ideals as a human being. You have to be a very, very flexible person. Otherwise, if you're stuck and a lot of things are going to pass you by. And you'll have no explanation. People will be going, now women drive, women even drive big trucks, and it is still such a marvel. How can a woman drive a big truck? But it's not a marvel. It's a skill. It's an acquired skill. You can go, you can learn. You just have to. There's no magic there. There's no superpower. It's a skill that can be done by anyone, as long as you're a man, you're a woman, or you're whatever gender that it is. Anything can work for you, and anything can be learned. So you have to be able to be flexible, and then you have to be discerning. You have to be a very good judge of your environment, of your work, of the people around you, because when you're able to discern, you are able to take out the trash and deal with only what builds you, or what actually takes you forward. So you have to be able to be discerning and a very good judge of especially character when it comes to human beings. We are very evil people. We are human beings, are evil on all levels. It does not matter where, whether it is work, whether it is relationship, whether it is our neighbors, whether it is just the normal social groups. We are evil as human beings. So you have to be able to be very discerning and be able to judge and know, maybe this person wishes me well, or they don't wish me well, or how am I supposed, if I have to work with them, how am I supposed to handle myself? When you learn how to handle yourself around different kinds of people, a lot of things can go well for you. So you have to be able to know and discern and judge and be very protective of your energy and be very protective of your environment for you to be able to learn so many things. So you have to be a very, very good judge of character. And I think you have to also set goals. And then the usual things, set goals. And you can do one by one. Every little goal matters. And every little goal that you achieve, every small thing that you achieve, if you can, celebrate it. Because when you celebrate, it gives you the motivation to do what is next. Celebrate those little wins. Those little wins. These days they say even just breathing and being alive throughout the day is a celebration in its own. I mean, we move on a daily. You don't know what you're going to face. I don't know, you might get into a border accident, you don't know. But every time you get back home and you're in your space and the day has ended, celebrate that. When you buy something nice for yourself, celebrate it. When you achieve a task that you thought was impossible, celebrate it. And it doesn't have to be this big a celebration or anything. No, you can just do a little dance. So that keeps you in the loop. Ice cream. Yes, you can buy yourself an ice cream, a smoothie, a beer, like anything. Just anything that will make you feel good. And especially when you're doing something new and you hit a certain target maybe you had set and it goes through. Celebrate it, because it will help you go on to the next step of whatever it is that you are doing. Then the other ones, the usual ones, keep time. Then avoid procrastination, especially when you want to learn something. We procrastinate a lot. And you think there's time. Chitone was talking about how she was burnt out at the end of the year. But it could be part of the fact that maybe she had a bit of procrastination. I am not saying, I'm assuming. There might be a little bit of procrastination that was involved. So you have to, especially for your learning bit, for your the procrastination, it's
terrible.
It's for most of us. Like you procrastinate even when you're supposed to do something, but you're like, but there's still time. You have a project to work on. They give you 3 months. You're like, they've given it to you in January. You're supposed to report in March. You're like, Then you wait until March 25th. When you wait until March 25th, panic attack. That is when the Kara will disappear. You have no power on your laptop. There's other things. A relative somewhere will die, and you're probably supposed to. Maybe someone will get sick but yet you had all this time to do that project. So even if it means, if you have 3 months, even if it's doing one task, maybe one task a day. Somehow by the time you get to the time you're supposed to probably submit and report and everything, you're just doing the fine printing, the fine reading and all. So procrastination is another one. Our Muganda agamba akabi kava mu kulwa, eh? So please, the procrastination, it has to go, because it keeps us a lot from achieving a lot of our
Goals.
yeah. I have a friend. I learned to drive quite early on in my life. For me, I was lucky. My late dad. The moment you hit the boys, the moment you get to S4, you learn. For the girls, it was S6. So S6 vacation after your exams, you have to learn how to drive. He didn't care what size you were, what you had to learn to drive. So I learned early on. So by the time I got into campus, I already knew how to drive. So one of my friends, I kept telling her, you need to learn how to drive. She's like, no, I think you need to learn how to drive. I said, no, I don't even have a car. I'm like, I also don't have a car, but I know how to drive. So it took her a while, and everywhere would go, I would be the one driving everywhere. Or if we had somewhere to go. So eventually, she learned how to drive.
Yeah.
So when she learned how to drive, the moment she got her driver's license, I was the first person she called. See? I'm like, so why were you refusing? Like, you leave me alone. I'm like, yeah, you see? So now, whenever we are going anywhere, I'm like, no, I am not driving. You will drive for all the years that I drove you, because...
Exactly.
because this is a skill. And then the other one was about another cousin of mine. She had also refused to learn how to drive. Completely, and also like, no, I don't need to learn how to drive. My husband knows how to drive. Then comes a day, the husband gets sick. She has 3 cars in the compound.
Wow.
3 cars. With 2 little children in the house. Husband really sick, and a maid. And she cannot drive her husband to the hospital. I think that was her longest night in the hospital, in her entire world. You're seeing the man is dying, he cannot drive. You also can't drive. You have 3 cars. You cannot call anyone. This is late in the night. Trust me, after that experience, she had to go and learn how to drive. Now when you find her driving on these roads, you don't believe she's the other person. So this procrastination that we do keeps us away. Because now imagine if her husband had probably died. And then you have yourself to blame. I wish I could drive. I wish I could. And then, but it didn't happen. But so that procrastination keeps us from a lot of things. So that is one of my other learning points that I do. So for now, I think that really is it. I'll hand over to Fiona.
Thank you so much. Speaking of judgment.
Come in.
Speaking of being a good judgment of character, are you a good judgment of spending money? Because some of us go to supermarket with a list, then you come back with things off the list. Fiona, please tell us.
Hello, everyone. I'm grateful to be
And
here
you're welcome.
today. Thank you. I'm going to talk about budgeting. Budgeting on personal level. We are going to group it into 3 ways when you are budgeting on personal level. We have what we call needs. Or basic needs, things we cannot do without. That is, we are going to give it a percentage of 50, and we have wants. We shall give it a percentage of 30, and also savings, a percentage of 20. When we go back on our 50, when we talk about basic needs or needs, we shall not take one need into one basket. When we talk about the 50% of our needs, it's going to categorize rent, because most people rent out. It will categorize our transport to the workplace, food, all that stuff. You have to budget it with 50%. And I'm not saying, it's hard to save if you are using your 50% of your salary. Take an example on rent. Let me assume you are earning 500 and you take 250 on your rent. That means you have overspent, and at the end of the day, you will not be able to save. When we talk about the wants,
the 30%. Those ones include the shoes, include
Is
the
the one. Not
Yes.
the best.
Wine.
yes.
Caution.
Then it also your nails, all those things. So it also include. Let me say, if you are born again, it also include your tithe.
It's a
One. It's a want.
It's not a need.
It's not a need. It's a want. Because that tithe, it comes, since we are saving 30% out of our wants, the 10% is our tithe. Also those giving, like giving in church, it's also a want. So when we come back to savings, where we have given it the lowest percentage, because we save by targets.
Yeah.
You can give yourself a target, like in this year, I want to save for this particular item, or for 3 years. Sometimes saving it is hard. That's why we always go for targets. So how do you save? It is really hard to save if you don't have control, or if you don't have control, or you don't have a target. Because at the end of the day, if you don't write down your targets, you'll be like, why should I save? But if you have that, it will help you to save. How do we save when we come to saving? We have three also source of incomes on a personal basis, which is always very hard to maintain, because most of us we do only one type of saving, and that is salary or monthly saving. And yet we need income, but we always have one type of income. Those who are having salary monthly income, it is hard for them to do daily income. And the fact is, on a daily basis we spend. We have to eat, we have to move, but we ignore this daily income. However much you earn, however much the little you earn, but we really need it. And also we have what we call quarterly earning, and that comes into agricultural basis. Most of us, where we come from, back in our villages, we have land. But what is that land? What are you using that land for?
Witchcraft.
Building shrines.
You know. So when you get your salary, let me assume your monthly money, you can start a very small business. You can start pancakes. When someone see you making those pancakes on a daily, you may not take it for granted, but it is really important, because you can save a little thing out of it, which can help you to spend on a daily. And you have land in the village, whereby you can also save out of your salary. You can also implement the land in a village. You say, this season, let me plant beans. That means you are earning in 3 ways. You have 3 sources of income. That will also help you to grow in savings. And also there is what we call, let me say, miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous.
We have to be with that money. It's not part of that 20% of your savings. There is money you get on a deal. There's what we call deal money. On that deal money, don't get all your deal money and chew it at once.
Deal money can be from a boyfriend, it can be from a chayo.
That is money we keep for miscellaneous. Cash down. Because all that we have been talking about, the savings, it's hard to save with cash, but you can save on mobile money, you can save through a bank, you can save through circles.
Through bonds and trusts.
But this one, it has to be saved. Cash. Yes, you may be saying, like, let me give an example of me. In my house, it is rare to find when I don't have 200,000. Reason being, you can't get a problem at night and no one is going to rescue you. You can fall sick, but no one is going to help you out at that time. But if you have that 200, when you get a problem, people will find you already where when you have solved the problem, ngoina wotose.
Yes.
So if that money reduces and you have used half of it, make sure you struggle hard to keep
Top
it,
up.
to top it up. If you have it, you can use the rest of the money. Yes. So also the heart of giving.
Neither do I. Because I'm here thinking like, oh my God, there's no money in my house. If I got a problem, I can just have miscellaneous.
I failed to pay security money for the landlord.
So which is also bad. And we get those miscellaneous. There's money which come without expecting. That is the problem. You have to learn how to save it also.
That one is when you go shopping, you're like, oh my, I got a 50 without expecting. I'm eating Javas.
But someone said celebrate life, so
How do you balance
Don't
celebrating
celebrate
life
your
and
you
saving?
You can. I remember she said you can celebrate, but she didn't really talk about celebrating in 2 terms of money. You can celebrate. You can celebrate while dancing. You can go and eat chikomando if you have to. You can go and eat cafe javas, but you save
your
save
own
some
means.
and you eat some. So long as you have that in your percentage, but whatever money I will get, I'll be saving. Let me say 20%. It's going to help you to grow, and at the end of the day, you will not be in you never get stuck with money. Because there are people you say, it doesn't earn a lot. Let me give you a scenario. We had a houseboy. He worked by the time I left home, he didn't have savings. I'm the one even who opened for him a bank account to start saving. I rented out for 2 years. By the time I came back home, the guy told me he had started paying for a land. Me who was earning a lot, because for him was earning 150 on a monthly basis. No deals. He managed to start paying for a land. Me who was earning a lot, even I could get a deal of 800, 100 or 1 million. I didn't have even a plan. I'd even my plan to come, why I came back home, I had plans to go back home in my car house to stay there. But when he told me that, I said no. If I come back home, I will not grow.
Yes.
I had to rent out. So he inspired me, and I asked him, how did you save all that money? It's like I kept on saving. I gave myself targets. I kept on saving. I forwent many things to save. And he told me he had even paid 50% of the land. I was really shocked. So it gave me inspiration. He inspired me, and no, I have also to start. If that person can buy a land, and not even far, in Wakiso, within Kampala. That is almost suburbs of Kampala.
No, it is now Kampala.
It is now Kampala. I was really shocked. It hit me like, we have to get serious. I was enjoying my money. By that time, I had just seen pizzas.
Meat every day.
But now, why did I talk about that example? However little you earn, you can make something out of it. You may not be able, because maybe by the time I raised the money to buy that piece of land, I couldn't buy even in Wakiso. Wakiso was very expensive. I went deep in Mukono. So don't look at I want to save money and I buy in Kampala, or I want in Ntinda. Yes, so look at the money you have and you live within your means. Yes.
Talking about living within your means, yes? There's this thing where you live within your means, but you have a koja saying, the cow died, the what died. It's like you're always working for someone else. And is it called black tax? Chitone, do you know anything about black tax?
Hey, I've paid it and now I'm a defaulter. I've paid black tax and now I'm a defaulter. So I know many of you are paying black tax. Maybe you're doing it or not. But for those who have never heard of the term, it is where when you grow up, your family expects you to give back from your job. So sometimes they will contribute towards your education, sometimes they will not, but their measure of you being a person that is doing well in life is the fact that you're able to give back. Like, first of all, you don't owe them success, by the guys, let me tell you. Like, it's okay for people to think that you're not successful when you're successful. At the end of the day, you should only work about being successful, not to convince people that you're successful. And that's where, like, those billionaires beat us. Like, do you see how this Facebook guy dresses? Like, I think his shirts are like $5. And he has billions and billions of money. But what am I trying to say? Because I've also been a victim of black tax, where I would send all my money to the village. To my aunties, to my, like my siblings, to my cousins, first of all, because I want to help, but also because I want other people to know that I'm not doing bad, because they thought that I was going to be doing badly. And as I have also, like, parents are one of the biggest perpetrators of black tax. Like, guys, black tax is financial abuse. They are, like, if you understand that you're being abused with your money, you're going to be more intentional. I feel like our generation is struggling the most with black tax because we are not community children. Because what happens with our parents before is usually they were raised by communities. So like, my mom would work and go back home to her parents' house. You get it, Until she got a man to take her out of the house.
Yes.
Now for us, by the time you're at campus, you're on your own. So by the time you're done with campus, you've left, like, you have to rent. And people who are living in Kampala, not even Kampala, because, like, we have so many cities now. People who are living in the cities, like,
That's like 20 years.
Like, So also living by yourself comes with a lot of unnecessary expenses that you'd probably not be able to do if you are living with people. Because if you're living alone, for instance, you're going to have to own a TV. You're going to have to pay for TV, because you can't imagine being in the house and speaking to nobody. So now your TV becomes... So now you see, like, those other expenses that we have that our parents usually didn't have. We have to pay for TV. Transportation is way harder than it used to be. We have to be on the phone. Internet, some of our workplaces involve us having to work online, so somehow you have to have internet. So now, on top of having to barely hold your head under the water, why are you sending your money? This is how you're unable to save, because you realize that if they've been getting us about needs and wants, but you'll end up having the ones will end up being 50%. And the needs are taking 30. Yes. Because now you have to make sure you're surviving in the city and then also sending money. You cannot pour from an empty cup. That is also in the Bible. So as you are figuring, like, we are not saying don't help people out, but you have to be able to help yourself, to help others. Like, if you sending money at home means some of these days you're going to walk from home to work or stay hungry, that's black tax. Like, you're being abused. Like, you being able to help people should come from a surplus, not from a place of scarcity. So, and for you to be able to do that, you also have to be able to unlearn, like, how we have to win our parents' love, our family love, by giving things. Like, these people bore you. They're your parents. You don't, like, your uncles and aunties have a chance to love you or not, but your parents don't. Also, it's not a must to be friends with your parents. Like, detachment also means you being, because you're an adult now, you're going to have to figure out and learn how to be able to live. Because your parents, when you become an adult, your parents aren't going to live forever. They're going to die. So when they die, what is going to happen? So you being able to financially grow also means detachment, and detachment means being able to stand on your 2 feet. Your 2 feet to say, Bambi, no. You want the money? I really wish I had enough to help you, but I'm also barely hanging by the thread. Like, I have to pay rent. You, of course, are going to tell them, like, I have to pay TV. I have to pay rent. Like, I have all these things. And looking at how much I'm earning, it is not enough for me to be able to do these things for myself and take care of you. And one thing I hate about black tax is usually it goes beyond your family. Beyond your mom and dad. Like, you're taking care of your uncle's children, of you. Like, why? Your auntie, also, like, your grandmother, has children. Your mom should take care of their mom. Why are you taking care of your mom's mom when your mom is there? You get it? Why are you taking care of your sister's children when your sister is there? It's different if they're like orphans.
And you don't have your own, you know.
So you have to be able to be intentional and willful about the things you want to do. Logic and sense. Sometimes you have to sit work with sense. These cousins of mine who I'm taking care of, some of them, their daddies are even around.
Yeah.
And they know you're paying their fees, like they're even comfortable. Like, Ruth will pay. Like, why? Why? So also, like, a reality that so many queer people need to understand is we need to really plan for us getting old. Because unlike our head cis, like, people, some of us are never going to have kids, maybe. Also, like, some of our relationships, you know the country you're in, like, we are criminalized. So it is rare. It happens, but it's rare for you to find relationships that have been sustainable over a long period of time. So what does that mean? You're going to have to learn to take care of yourself. And contrary to what people say, like, if people money makes life easy. So you don't want to be an old queer person. Like, no one, you're the queer, they don't like you. And then you're old, do you think who's going to take care of you? So you have to be able to plan. To plan for, because they are never going to like you if you're queer. If they didn't like you as a young person, they're still going to hate you as an old person. So prepare for yourself. Where are you going to live when you grow older? What kind of businesses are you putting in place that are going to sustain your life when you're older? Why do you, like, because you're going to even end up dying younger because of the situation you're in. So if you want to sustain yourself and be able to live a fulfilling queer life, you also have to be able to financially take care of yourself. Build yourself a house. Have yourself something that is going to be able to take care of you even when you grow older. A business, your job is not an investment, guys.
Yes.
Like, I am in this job right now, but 5 years from now, people will be like, you're old. Like, you need to leave. So when you still have the energy to work, invest. It's not when people are like, one of the frustrations we're having, to the extent of people even having to sell their own communities, because they're struggling financially. And sometimes it's not even because they weren't able to get money. They did. And black taxed all of it trying to win the parents' love.
Yes.
If they don't love you, they don't. Even when you give them money, they're going to eat it and not love you. If they love you, they're going to love you. Even when you're broke, they'll tell you, sweetie, come home and figure yourself out. Don't think that if they threw you out of the house and now you pay a lot of money, they're going to love you back. They'll just take your money. But the day that money is going to get out of your hands is when you remember that you were thrown out of their home. They'll still not let you back. So take care of yourself, take care of your financial future, invest, have a place where you're going to live. It's easy for you to have a maid to take care of you when you're older as a queer person than for you not to have money to afford a maid. Like, whose burden are you going to be, guys, by them? Even like a cis old person is a burden. Now imagine you with you. With your big pants and with your small, whatever, with your butch nature. You think who's going to want to take care of a butch old person, guys? Yes. Like, even your grandchildren may not want the legacy of knowing that their grandmother is queer. Like, guys, please.
You'll be abandoned.
I can share something about what I did to my parents and my siblings. From what Fiona said, the needs, the wants, and the savings. So whenever I have money and a problem comes in, let me say my sister calls me or anything, if they have something that I can invest in, say it's a business, say, let me give an example. When most of us, our mothers, because of their old age, if they're not rearing maybe cow, they have goat, they have this, understand? So I make sure if I'm giving you money worth a cow, you're actually selling me that cow. You understand? Like, if my mom said I need 500,000, I'll look among her stuff. You understand? Because I don't, when she brings it back, it's okay for me to give back the cow. I won't take away the cow from the family, exactly. But I'll tell you, I own that cow now because it's worth this money. So if in case you give it back, it is okay for me to reinvest it where it's supposed to go. You understand? Like, I don't refuse to give you money, but I take something worth that money. So most people, when you're giving parents, sometimes tell her, never ziba nkoko, even if it's chicken.
Like that whole chicken ban is nice right now.
This,
you change the name.
No, you're like, among your chicken, I have like 100. So if I decided to sell, my money will come back. So I think people should also learn that, because a friend told me that. Because at first I was like, but no, they're my parents. They're like, no, our parents use us. So if you take something from them, they would have sold that chicken to solve their problem. You understand? They have chicken to sell. They don't have problems right now. They're old. You don't have any problems.
My mom's problem is transport to go to church.
That's what I'm telling you.
And try to
Sell
go
a
for it.
chicken
That's
every
taking
day.
all her money.
Sell a chicken every day and get your tithe and your transport. I'm telling you,
She will
someone.
even eat the chicken. Or she will take a physical chicken and be like Musumba.
At least come when Coco.
Now, there is that part where, yes, you've taken the chicken or you've taken the cow, but then they still sell it because they have it.
Yeah.
You understand? Me, I don't mind about that. I would mind if you sold it and you didn't tell me. You never ask a single shilling from me. Because whenever you'll ask me, I'll say, first pay my cow. Zawe ente yange, then I will give you money. So by all means, the way they manipulate us, you can actually turn it back. Because whenever you tell her, mpe mbuzi yange, they'll be like, eh, now I'm gonna da mami. It was my investment money to do ABCD. Then we'll be like, eh. So somehow it's also a way to manipulate your own parents. You understand? Instead of giving them, because they'll give.
Be like, I bought the
Exactly.
house now. This is my
Hey.
It is worth this money, so I'm taking it. Until you pay this money,
right
it is
in
not
the
yours.
will. This
So
house is solely
entitled.
mine.
Yeah.
Not even
Because me right now, I own like 5 rentals from my dad.
Ah, oui.
Yes. And I'm like, as long as you're still alive, everyone should know I own this. And now he came to an agreement with me whereby if he's building rentals, we pay half. It's like, you bring this kind of money, I bring this, we rent. No, kawa. So I know, buli mwezi bwaba basasula. I have a share on my houses. So there is nothing taking away from that. But the problem is we look at our parents and say, tasobola, mubibi ebyo nyini byalina. Mobo. Yes. Bwekiba kyetaagisa muteerawo nkoko mugambe ziizo. But whenever you ask a chikumi from me, I'm taking 1 chicken. Whenever you're taking, because obala nogamba buli nkoko ya mitwalo egi, buli 5 gye nkuwa.
Coco.
You understand? So because you might not sell, you might not keep it as money in the bank or savings, or because we have so many things we want. But that is me. That is the way. Like I shared, and I actually looked at it as a good deal. I'm like,
It is.
now I actually
But now
own so many
there-
things
but
because.
but you know there are parents that actually will guilt trip you into saying omwana bintu nakuwerera nakukola ki. I'm telling you, there are parents that will do that. Yes? Yes, there are parents that would actually do that. But then you have to be ready to stand your ground and tell them, you know what, yes, you paid my school fees.
But it's your
that was
responsibility,
that is your
That was a child
responsibility.
you gave.
Yes. And that is
You're
like
like, ani yakutuma.
people
Ani
who tell them
yakutuma
since mani agamba onzai.
I mean, like I was a child.
I didn't take an application.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to be ready to stand your ground. Respectfully, but put your points across. Yes? Because they have that. Omwana nangamba muwe ente olwokuba mpadde obusente nze muliisizza okuva bwe yali simanyawo nze namuyoza
Nasuka ku kitanda omwana yalwala oyo.
you know it. But then, yes, and then so you have to let them, you let them cool down and tell them, you know what, we have to still talk about this. byonna byogedde, but we need to talk about this. If you want this kind of money, I had this money, I was going to do this and this and this and this.
Yes.
Naye ozinsabye ate nga nsobola okuyamba ng'omuzadde wa naye nfunako ki.
My mom would begin fasting and praying for you. Like a demon. That's what that devil.
So you have to be able to stand your ground,
Yes.
but you also have to be respectful about it. Yeah, so that you can come to a common ground.
Did it, when I went to my dad, I was like, the man I'm supposed to give you was supposed to do this. So if I give it to you, I'm left in space. It is as simple as that. I wasn't like, yo, dad, now I'm giving you my money. Now what I give you? No, I was like, dad, you want to I have it. But it was supposed to do ABCD. You need to give me something in exchange for me to build what I want. Because I have siblings that if you're gone, I do not know where I stand.
What happens? Yes.
So I'm not going to give you my money because you're my parent and ntandika kudambuta. I've saved this money for quite some time to do ABCD. And he was he was actually very surprised for me to talk like this. Like, wow. I was like, if you're going to give it to me in cash, thank you. If you're going to give me in terms of anything, that will bring me money to give me that back, I'm appreciative. Otherwise, genda mu bank, otekeyo ekyapa, otekeyo ennyumba yo. Oba kitegeera, it is okay. Me, I'm okay because nange nkola byange. I have siblings that I don't know when you're dead how we're going to deal with each other. Right now, we might be lovey-dovey and anything.
Because they are still around.
Exactly. So he was very okay to tell me, okay, every month, how about we did this? Every month, there is this mupangisa, these houses. Every month, I give you at least 10%. Until you collect
And
your
it made
money.
sense.
Exactly. And I want interest.
I beg.
I want interest. Because you've taken away my time that I was supposed to use this money for. Okitegera nti bwe mba nali oba ngamba oba ogenda gula kataka oba chichi already.
Ogenda gula jinja yadde agenda ogula
Webale nnyo. So there is interest, but that is for the parents who can understand.
Yes,
it.
that's what I'm
Not
telling you.
every-
They're
But
not
also
every
be
parent
comfortable
is.
detaching
Yes.
you people.
Be
Some parents
okay.
are
Exactly.
abusive.
Yes.
Tukiriza nti omuzadde wo bakwisa oba it's okay for you to leave. Because some people are stranded in abusive relationship because they are this thing of naye era mama wange yo ojja kufa. Like their parents who are killing their children,
Yeah,
guys.
true.
So if you will know when your parent is not the good one, and it is okay for you to what?
To walk away.
Yeah, let no one play with our money this year, banange.
Also enjoy your money.
Yeah.
So we talked about it. Spoil your guys. You're giving all your money to your family. Just na kusiba mviri nungi we no si usengo kola mbuyo what. Bamaza.
Yes, so let's love ourselves so much that we don't need to buy love. Because someone gave birth to you, you don't need to buy their love to love you more. Because someone, as Chidone says, someone who will love you in any capacity you come like. So let's be open to accepting love, and then also let's plan, let's do things different.
Also, if your parents threw you out, don't give them your money. Don't. If they woke up and said your kuchu, we don't want to, don't give. They don't deserve your money.
Because it's kuchu money, right?
No, it's not. But so don't give them your money.
Yeah, so as always, we've had an amazing session, and please listen in, subscribe. Yes, Gazelle, please tell us where to subscribe.
Yes, don't forget to follow us on our social media. That's Twitter, Instagram at @far_Uganda, and then on Facebook, that's Freedom and Roam Uganda, and then BaQueer Twogere, that's on YouTube. Comment, like, share, and don't forget to turn on that notification button.
Also, we are on Anchor, so if you want to download the entire episode and listen to it, you can find us on Anchor, Freedom and Roam Uganda.
Do not miss out on anything. And this is the new year. Get vibey and dare to do. Yes, we've been BaQueer Twogere.
She said what she said.